my journaling friend. Welcome back to another episode of Diving Deeper, where we explore the power of journaling with God to uncover healing, purpose, and peace, one page at a time. I'm Shonda, and today we're diving into something that many of us wrestle with, but often push aside: self love. Let's be honest, some days loving yourself feels more like a chore than a joy. But here's what I have learned, and what I am going to speak about today is that gratitude can gently open the door to self love even when you feel unworthy. If you've ever struggled with confidence, wrestled with your worth, or felt like you give love better than you receive it, this episode is for you. And guess what? We are in a series on gratitude. So be sure to follow the show and grab your free 30-day gratitude journey download to walk this out with me. Now, I want to start by painting this very vivid picture for you. She stands in front of her bathroom mirror, toothbrush in hand. She stares blankly out at the reflection looking back at her. Tired eyes, puffy cheeks from crying the night before, an inner voice whispering all the things she's not. Not pretty enough, not smart enough, not lovable enough. She scrolls social media and compares. She hears others' praises and wonders why her own voice is so quiet, so unsure. But today, just before she puts the phone down, she remembers something she heard. Start with gratitude. She opens a journal, blank pages, but full of potential. And she writes, God, thank you for giving me a heart that still wants to grow. And just like that, the journey to self love begins. Now, maybe you've been in that place too, where love for yourself feels formed, it feels forced or fleeting. But here's what I really want you to get today. You don't have to wait until you feel self love to start practicing it. Gratitude journaling is a beautiful way to water the seed of self love until it blooms. Now, let's walk through this together, one step, one page, one truth at a time. I have 4 steps that I know for myself that I have used for gratitude journaling in this area. The first one is acknowledge where you are with compassion, not criticism. We can't love ourselves from a place of pretending. Real love starts with honesty, not perfection. So, too often we push away how we feel, thinking that admitting we're tired, insecure, or unsure makes us weak. But my journaling friend is actually a sign of strength. God doesn't meet us in our filters, He meets us in our truth. When you acknowledge where you are without shame, you create space for grace. You make room for growth. And this is exactly what I have been learning. So let's shift now into practice here. An action step would look like this. Write this in your journal. Right now, I feel blank about myself, and that's okay. I'm starting here. So I want you to write down how you're feeling about yourself. And you know what? It's okay. It's a good start. And so let's go to an affirmation here. I am allowed to be a work in progress and still be worthy of love. I want you to repeat that with me because affirmations are good to remind ourselves, our own self, of our own value. And the affirmation, let's repeat it. I am allowed to be a work in progress and still be worthy of love. You're not behind. You're not broken. You're beginning. And that, my friend, is sacred ground. So let's dive into number 2, which this step is always so significant. Celebrate what's good, even if it feels small. When life feels heavy or messy, I like to think that it is easy to fixate on what's wrong or what's not done, right? But gratitude flips the script. It reminds us that we are more than what we lack. We're already carrying beauty, strength, and grace within us. Your growth, your resilience, your compassion, all these things really do matter. And celebrating yourself doesn't mean you're ignoring flaws, it means you're recognizing your worth. So let's turn this into a practice. Our action step here is list three things about yourself you're thankful for. Look into your character, your growth, or the way you care for others. All of those things is worth celebrating, right? Why? Because it's you. And so an example of this might look like this. I'm grateful for my resilience. I'm grateful that I'm learning how to set boundaries. These are not small things, these are big things for you, right? I'm grateful for the way I show up for others. And our affirmation can sound like this: I am worthy of celebration, even in progress. Let's write that down again, or let's repeat that again. I am worthy of celebration, even in progress. You're not just holding it together, you're blooming. Give yourself credit for the beauty that's already within you. Another important step for me has been to invite God into my own self talk. Let Him speak louder. And so you know that inner voice that tells you you're not enough, that voice that replays your mistakes louder than your victories, let's change that today. Because your words to yourself, they matter. And when you invite God into your self talk, everything shifts. His voice brings truth, comfort, and direction. It reminds you who you really are. Let's make that shift together. An action step for this step will look like this. I want you to write this prayer in your journal. God, thank you for reminding me that I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Then I want you to rewrite one negative thought with loving truth, right? So instead of saying I'm not good enough, you want to say I'm growing and God is with me. And so you see how we just made that shift? We were able to rewrite that negative thought into a loving truth. And this is a practice that we integrate in order to enter our gratitude journaling, right? An affirmation here would sound like this: my voice matters, my words hold power, my thoughts can honor God and myself. This is one to put on the wall, right? Because this is one you might want to remind yourself every day of how your voice matters and your words hold the most power and your thoughts can honor God and you at the same time. You don't have to keep repeating what hurt you. You get to rewrite your story with truth, with kindness, and with God. And so the last step is create a self love ritual. Repeat what he says about you. And this is my favorite step of all, right? And because you get to implement your self love routine and practice every day. Just practicing will change how you see yourself, right? So self love isn't a one time breakthrough, it's a daily rhythm. And the best way to build that rhythm is to create routines, rituals that remind you of truth. God is true. Little acts of gratitude and kindness repeated in love form lasting change. Whether it's a morning whisper or thanks, or a sticky note on your mirror, these small little moments can anchor you in who God says you are. Let's build this your ritual today. So the action step here is I want you to choose one daily gratitude ritual to start this week. I want you to try maybe a morning thank you prayer, a self gratitude statement, maybe before you go to bed, before you lay down, maybe say a self gratitude statement, maybe a mirror note that says, God delights in me. Write a few of these on the mirror, on the wall. Sometimes we have to go on purpose and do things in order to see that change, or we have to practice in order to get the results that we want. And so, definitely in cultivating self love, we have to be intentional about it. You're already worthy, you're already valuable. And so, sometimes we have to take the extra step in order to prove that to ourselves, because God already knows it. But sometimes we have to work just a little bit harder so that we can see it for ourselves. And so the affirmation for this step would be, each day I will choose to speak to myself with kindness and truth. Let's say that again. Each day I will choose to speak to myself with kindness and truth. These small steps are healing more than you know. What you repeat and love will eventually become what you believe. Okay, and so now we're going to jump into our reflective journaling prompts. This is where we let God guide the conversation, right? And so you've done the work of showing up, shifting your self talk, and planting those seeds of gratitude. Now it's time to slow down and go deeper. Reflection is where the transformation really begins to settle into your soul, your mind, will, and emotions. And it's where you kind of give God that space to speak back to you. Relationship with God is not one sided. We might speak have all of our things to say, but God has something to say too, right? And so these prompts aren't about getting the right answer. They're about listening to your heart and to the Holy Spirit. So I want you to just breathe deep, find a quiet space, and let these questions lead you into a deeper understanding of who you are in Him. The first one is, what's one thing I've judged about myself that I can thank God for? And so, a best approach, maybe, to answer this is really to just be honest about the part of you that's been criticized by yourself or maybe by others. Then ask God to show you the hidden strength or purpose in that area. Gratitude can soften judgment and reveal how He's been working all along for you, right? The next prompt is, how has God shown me love lately, even when I didn't feel lovable? Think about the small mercies, answered prayers, unexpected peace, a kind word, or simply the strength to keep going. Write freely. Let gratitude uncover how near God truly is, even when you struggle to see it. And so the last prompt, what's one way I can show myself compassion today? Don't overthink this. Maybe it's resting without guilt, speaking to yourself gently, maybe saying no without shame. Ask the Lord what you need today and give yourself permission to receive it, right? Compassion isn't weakness, it's healing. And so don't rush this part of your journaling. Be sure to reflect, pray, write, listen. These pages aren't just journal entries. It's not just to check the page and turn to the next page, right? They're conversations with your creator, invitations to healing, and reminders that you're already deeply loved. And so cultivating self love isn't about being perfect. It's about learning to see yourself the way God already does, with grace, with tenderness, and with unshakable truth. So I want you to start today. Write it down, say it out loud. Choose to believe that you are already enough. And don't forget to download your free 30-day gratitude journal to guide this journey. Follow this podcast so you never miss an episode in our gratitude series. Just remember, you are seen, you are loved, you are becoming beautifully. Until next time, keep journaling, keep growing, and keep letting God remind you who you truly are.